Thanks for staying with us. So this segment, we're going to be talking to the Commissioner for Agriculture, Honorable Abisola Olusanya. We saw a video of her where she seemed to be expressing her grievance and anger and frustration concerning malpractices amongst marketers and even food sellers. Let's watch this clip so you have an idea what we're talking about.
After all, I could have given cash to the Ministry of Agri staff to be following people around. Anything you buy, take cash for 25% off. But so that you will not say that, what to today, we paid Momo upfront. So that if anybody comes here to use the Momo platform and pay to you, they get the automatic 25%. But more than 70% of the vendors are refusing to use it. It is not fair. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't want to use the platform, it's not by force to sell here. We are not charging you a penny. That is why your level of commitment is low, because you are getting it for free. If we were to charge you money and say for you to sell here, pay 20,000 naira, pay 50,000 naira, you will not do what you are doing. But because we make it free, that okay, let us let this place, let people know this place, let people understand how this place should run, and then down no and don't do. And that's why Shetty and Shake, and Jewa, Labuwa, and the Pembache. It is painful. You want change in Nigeria, but you are not ready to be a part of that change. You want to take advantage of your fellow Nigerians, and yet you say government is bad. We get market women, not all, a small fraction.
Thanks for staying with us. So we saw that video and we thought it was important for us to call the commissioner herself to give us a better understanding of what's going on. Good morning, madam. Thanks for joining us. We have with us the Commissioner for Agriculture of Lagos State, Honorable Abisola Olusanya.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. You were so upset in that video. You could see how you're vibrating. What happened? Tell us exactly what happened.
Okay, so we have the Lagos Fresh Food Hub at Mushin, Idi-Oro. And this Fresh Food Hub is one of many that we would have all over Lagos. It being the first and the pilot, we felt it was needful at least to use it as a sensitization platform, particularly for the market women, because they would eventually move into that space to start to sell. We felt it was good to use it as a platform for sensitization of market women as well as consumers and negotiators at large to see that this is the direction that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is moving the Lagos food systems into. So we kicked off last year, December, after commissioning on the 18th of December 2022. We kicked off with a food fair. We had 2 editions in December itself, but I mean, that was very quiet and not a lot of people knew about it. So we re-strategized and decided to reopen on the 27th of January. So we started with, let us kick this off by having a Saturday market so that we do not disrupt regular market activities, since we have Mushin Market right next door. And like I said, it's the market women that will eventually move into the space to utilize it. But in the interim, we are just test running and seeing how things will work. And we identified vendors. We called on the market women themselves who would like to be a part of this. We also identified farmers. And so we have a mix of farmers and market traders on the trading floor. We registered them. We know the quantity of what they are bringing into the hub. We know the food type they are bringing into the hub. And part of what we are trying to utilize this space for is to understand demand supply side of things, such that we can start to use this particular space to extrapolate the demand of Lagos as a whole, and subsequently be able to enter into partnerships with state governments around certain types of food. These are the ways in which you can bring down the cost of food when it is done strategically, using data as a tool for the solutions we want to see. And so in doing all of this, we also decided from the get-go, even before all of these prices around the price of food erupted, we felt it would be good to start to give a 10% discount. So we kicked this off as far back as January. and for transparency's sake, because you don't also want to give people discounts physically. We won't have the capacity to follow every customer around to understand what they have bought and to start to dispense cash. So we decided to partner with the Payment Solutions Bank, and we decided on Momo, assuming that majority of, or at least we believe MTN has the largest market share for communication. So we decided, let's start off with Momo. And for that reason, every vendor should register on the Momo platform. And hopefully those who utilize MTN too would be able to use the app, and whatever they buy, between the prices or the value of 2,000 to 50,000 naira, they get a 10% discount. Every vendor is supposed to be registered so that way everyone gets the discount. We kicked off on that, and we realized that, and then we also set prices. So we take a consensus and we set prices so that our prices are at least marginally lower than what you find in the market, since we have quite a number of farmers with us and we know what the farm gate prices are. But we realized that in the course of it, and then based on Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu's pronouncements last week concerning intervention measures, particularly around food for Lagosians, where he now went further to declare a 25% discount on food. Even though we have not started that, and that will be for the temporary markets we'll be setting up all over Lagos. Even though we haven't kicked off, but we felt Mushin, being a government-owned facility, we can just immediately, from 10%, which we were already giving anyway, we moved to a 25% discount. And with prices that have been pegged, we would be able to effectively, dispense what it is that we have promised to Lagosians. So on Saturday last week, there was a massive influx of customers. We had customers from Ikorodu, from the island, from all over Lagos, who I believe, apart from wanting to buy, I think they just wanted to see the experience of shopping at the hub, something unique and different. We have an organic corner. There are so many things to it that, the place is beautiful. So we had a massive flux like we have not experienced since we started in January. Only to realize that because of that, vendors started to inflate prices, skyrocketing the prices. I have members of the Ministry of Agriculture team on ground fully. We have nothing less than 30 members of staff who dedicate their weekends to make sure that these things work. And these are vendors that we know, they have registered, we have communicated, we have had stakeholder engagements with over and over and over again. So for them to do a flip and start to, take advantage of customers, it was just very disheartening. We had to call a vendor stakeholder meeting yesterday for me to express, my sadness at what we are doing to our fellow Nigerians. On our part, there will be lapses because we have not done this before on this kind of scale. But the assumption is, as a fellow Nigerian, and you understanding what we want to do as a government, help us to help people, not to take advantage of people. Everything we are doing at the hub, all of the vendors that are there, they are selling for free. Nobody pays a kobo to the Lagos state government. And we have spent monies also in marketing the hub as a product. A product meaning a place where when you bring your items to sell, you will sell out, because we have done the work. We've taken the pains to market this place as a go-to place for you to sell and to buy. So to do all of this and then to now see people taking advantage of people. I mean, you want to buy, let's say, tomatoes or something, and then someone just inflates the price because they've seen that there is a crowd. It is a bit painful. So I just had to express my dissatisfaction at what was happening and to re-strategize. Okay. I understand now there are certain items that move so fast. I would have to curtail the quantities that can be bought by any one person at any time, so that it also makes affordability and availability there throughout the day. Okay. And then there are so many other things to it.
All right, let me get a few more questions for you. Go ahead.
Oh boy, I never go. They don't spoil. They don't want to spoil them. So, but I wanted to know: did you make an arrest? Find somebody that will be made an example.
Did I do what?
Did you make an arrest of any of these operators?
Make a scapegoat.
Make a scapegoat of them, yes.
Okay, so no, I didn't, because I felt that would not be the way to go. Like I said, I have farmers and I have market traders, women mostly, and even men. I mean, you wouldn't want that to be, you don't want to go the extra punitive route, which is why we had that stakeholder engagement we did yesterday.
Initially.
That's why I also said that there's now a new strategy, an adoption of strategy to say these will be the number of vendors that can sell at the hub on any given day. We will do a vendor rotation. So I had over 300 people yesterday. Normally, we should have only 96 vendors on the floor. But imagine 300 people showed up. We had to lock the gates because we now saw that even those who were not with us before were trying to come in to register because they felt they could cash in on the opportunity of the kind of volume of people that were coming in through the gates. So we had to give a cutoff and said, no, the vendors we are working with already want to do a sanitization to ensure that we have the right kind of vendors who can bring in the right quantity of products and sell at the prices that are agreed that we will make the public aware of. And now, if there's any infraction being committed, there will be punitive measures. And that punitive measure is, sorry, you cannot sell here again, and we'll make sure that that happens.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm happy to, I felt bad when I saw watched the video. I could feel like I had goosebumps. I could feel your pain. I could feel your passion. And I know that you're one of the commissioners who's had a track record of consistently doing amazing work within the agri sector. We see greed at play. You know, it's obvious we're seeing greed at play. And while your tongue lashing might, like with Trendy, we're talking about it, getting the buy-in of the vendors would probably go beyond the conversation. It would be a case of repeatedly doing orientation for them to understand the love for the people. How do you intend to achieve long-term change in the mindset of people who are used to, I've seen crowd, I make more money? Yes.
Yeah. So amazingly, the way the hub is built, we have spaces for stakeholder engagements, we have spaces for seminars, we have space for that kind of back and forth. So in the last 4 weeks also, we have been engaged in trainings. We've trained market women from Mushin, from Oshodi Solo, from Ikeja. Just last week, Saturday, at the same time, we trained 800 butchers. And we collaborated with Loma, with LASEPA, with LASRA, and LASHMA on Ilera Eko. We felt that the hub can now become the space where traders across Lagos can start to converge. And we as government, and I'm talking about MDs, see this set of people as unique stakeholder group. We can start to communicate more of what government is doing. So we are actually engaging market traders, we're engaging farmers, we're engaging butchers, we're engaging stakeholders in the food systems simultaneously as the market is ongoing on Saturdays. So that is why also, by right, the hub, it's supposed to be also a collaboration between the local government, the market association, and now the state government getting involved in it. The idea is not for us to run the hub perpetually. We are giving ourselves a 6-month timeline to do this fair, which is more of trying to buy time to sensitize the traders and to sensitize stakeholders till we understand that, yes, they have imbibed what it is that we are trying to push out there, that there is a better way, there is a newer way of market reforms. And then they move in, take over, and we are out. All we will need to continue to do is enforce, supervise, and with the other MDAs, like I mentioned, we continue to work together to make sure that there's sustainability in place. So engagement and sensitization is ongoing concurrently.
Okay, go ahead, Ramat.
Okay, I must say that you're doing very well so far with this project and all, but this is not, I'm not going to ask a question, I'm just going to suggest that maybe you should probably have price tags on the products so that when they come in, they will look at the price and get it on there. Or you have a central paying point. Like, okay, for example, if a vendor comes and says, these are all my products, you say, okay, how much is this whole product? They tell you, and then, okay, you're going to sell as so. You just add a little profit, and then, you know, you put the price. You put the price, and then when they finish, when they buy, when customers come and they buy, on their way out, they just pay and just make it like a central. So this is just a suggestion.
Okay, thank you very much. that is akin to going the supermarket route. A supermarket is owned by one individual or entity who has floor managers, and those are the dispensing points or till points. That can work. This is supposed to be a platform for multiple vendors to come in to sell their products. So having a centralized tilling point might be a bit tricky, because then what it would involve is you now have to have every vendor. It will now be sell by weight, put your sticker on it so that we know the value, and then when you get to the till point, you pay, and at the end of the day, you do a redistribution. It may be a bit tricky because the market is not built to be that way in its entirety, but we can still tweak, readjust, re-strategize, such that at the end of the day, the consumer wins, the trader also wins, and as a government, we achieve what we want to achieve around ensuring that food availability is possible.
So for those of us who have never been to Mushin, because we've been hearing about it, it's been trending on social media, everybody's going there, taking their cameras.
We have not
We
gone.
are hoping that you bring it to those of us who are in there, where are we now? Ikeja. There are those on the island, there are those in Ikeja. When are we going to be experiencing these hubs across the state? What are the timelines you're working with?
Okay, so Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu had mentioned he's building 3 simultaneously right now. So one is already ongoing at Agege. There's another one to kick off construction. That's March at Shangotedo. Then we have another one at Abuleado. We've also been receiving a lot of referrals to other locations around the state. But the key idea is to have minimum of 1 across each local government. And this is a collaboration with the local governments themselves to ensure that this is all over the state, and we begin to have an urban renewal approach to how we build, and to build markets that are functional. That's actually the bottom line. Build markets that are functional to our people, to our situation, so, and to show that this is a model that indeed does work, so that at the end of the day, you get market traders off the street and get them into proper spaces where you and I can be happy to go with our kids on weekends to shop. You understand? So that's the whole idea. We would have all of this across Lagos State, but it's a collaboration between government, private sector, local governments, and private individuals.
Let me let you go. Thank you so much. I think you're doing a good job. I mean, I don't know how to say it in English, but don't
Exactly.
I know we the people can get frustrating and annoying, but please don't mind our people. Eventually, they would align and adjust. And I think we like the fact that you're hands-on. You're there, which is great and it's good. So well done. And hopefully, we're looking forward to the ones. All right. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.